What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this 2024 Ram 1500 Laramie. It's a crew cab 4x4 finished off in Delmonico Red pearl coat. MSRP is about $68,000. Big shout out and thank you to Hemi, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this new truck for today's video. Take a look at their website, link down below. Now underneath the hood of this Ram 1500, you're going to find that 5.7 liter Hemi V8 also paired to the eTorque system. It has 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and of course we have a 4-wheel drive transfer case. This truck weighs in around 5,400 pounds, runs on a 23-gallon fuel tank, so you can expect 17 miles per gallon in the city with 22 out on the highway. And overall towing is about 8,100 pounds with payload at 1,600 pounds. This crew cab has a length of 232.9 inches, wheelbase is 144.5, width is 82.1, and height is 77.6 inches. Now this can also do some off-road capabilities. Approach angle is 19 degrees, breakover angle is 20 degrees, departure angle is 25 degrees, and minimum ground clearance is 8.2 inches. So moving on to the exterior styling with this 2024 Ram 1500 Laramie. Laramie is towards the top for sure with amenities and just what it has to offer. This one has a really nice chrome design for the front end. You see this chrome piece going across the upper portion of the grille. Ram is spelled out in the center in huge bold letters with more chrome surrounding it. And then down below we get a massive steel bumper finished of course in chrome, and we also are going to have your LED fog lights as well as parking sensors. Now there's no tow hooks up front, which is a little odd to see. You just have these plastic trim pieces in place of where tow hooks would be. Kind of a bummer to see that on a full-size truck. You want to be able to tow things and get towed out if needed. You're also going to see these LED headlights. They have a nice daytime running light in them, some silver throughout the housing, and it does say Ram on the inside. Pretty good looking truck. I think Ram has always done a great job just giving you an aggressive vehicle. And I like how these lines on the farthest sides of the hood kind of date back to the original Rams where the headlights were kind of separate from the grille. You can see this massive hood, huge bulge in the center with some sharp lines, and now you're also going to see how we have that 1500 eTorque logo on the side. You're also going to see some body color cutting towards this front end to really help give this a muscular appearance. Now at the side profile, this one gets a set of 20-inch wheels finished in a 5-spoke design with the dual color on it, wrapped in a pretty normal street tire. We have one sharp body line cutting through the entire side profile, and being a crew cab, we have the 2 massive doors. Now we have the smaller bed as well, which just gives it a really proportional look. I think you can't really complain. It's just a good looking truck from the side. Sharp body line in the lower portion of these doors with a massive Ram logo, chrome on the mirror caps with an LED light, and you also are going to see body colored door handles. So overall side proportion, definitely a nice looking truck, just very clean. Wheels complement it very well. And in back, you can see part of the rear bumper as well. And I like the dual exhausts. We have these dual tips integrated into that bumper with some plastic trim on the left and right side. That also houses the rear parking sensors. We have our trailer hitch in the center with tow hooks on the side of it. Of course, you're going to see all of your plugs by the license plate frame. We get the Laramie and 4x4 badge in back with a big Ram logo. Backup camera's right in the center, and we have an electronic button. We can open that up for the tailgate. Has a soft open, as you can see. And this truck does have a full painted bed. Obviously, you're going to probably want to do a spray and bed liner on it, but at least it's ready to go for that. In here, you do get a hook on each of the corners. No real options in here. Doesn't look like this one is optioned with an LED light. However, you can of course outfit the bed to really do quite a lot. Tailgate itself, nice and simple, and it doesn't really weigh anything. With one hand, we can easily close it up. Moving to the key fob, we have lock, unlock, tailgate release, along with remote start, and then some nice silver trim and your Ram logo. Now if you keep the key fob in your pocket, this of course does have the smart entry, so we can go ahead and open up the door and take a look at this black leather interior. You're going to see some white trim and silver accents all throughout it. Got a nice black door panel finished off with Alcantara throughout the center, this dark color wood-like material. Then you're also going to see release handle, memory seating, all the window and mirror controls with your grab handle, some nice contrast stitching, and then a ton of storage space all surrounding it. Moving to the interior, you're going to see all of your power controls for the driver's seat, and I really like the combination with the smooth black leather, contrast stitching and piping, more of that Alcantara, and then perforations all throughout the center of these seats. These are heated and ventilated. They look very nice, of course, with Laramie stitched up above with more Alcantara. And then now inside the 2024 Ram 1500, keeping my foot on the brake, I can fire it up. So right in the center, you're going to see Laramie come up on the LCD screen. We have your tach on the left with engine temperature, and then speedometer and fuel to the right side. There are a few vitals that are going to pop up in the center, and you can configure it using the control panel on the left side of the screen. So if I toggle OK, we can go from kilometers to miles per hour. Then scrolling down, you're going to see vehicle information, and you can easily scroll left and right, see all sorts of different things that are going to pop up within this truck. You're going to have a lot of menus for these vehicles, fuel economy information of course. Then you can continue down into trip, start stop information. You also have audio that'll pop up, any messages within the truck, and then a few more screens. We got the RAM logo right in the center. You're also going to see cruise control on the right, a gear limit where you're able to adjust the transmission. Then you have Bluetooth and audio controls. You're also going to see controls on the back side of the steering wheel, stalk on the left side for your windshield wipers and turn signal. Then you're going to see headlight controls down below with interior dimming. You also have your pedal adjustment, electronic parking brake, one of your air vents, and then some smooth black leather material running across the dash. This truck also has an Alpine audio system, storage up in front with one of the plugs, and then you get your Laramie badge on the far right side. You can also press this, open it up for your secondary glove box. We have the traditional glove box down below that with a pretty large bucket, as you would expect. And then I like the dark wood trim you're going to see up on top. Now this screen is pretty large, nice vertical design. Up on top we get a few shortcuts and a little bit of information. All of our climate controls will pop up as well, and all of our shortcuts are down below. So if I go ahead and tap the home icon, you can see two separate screens. We have the nav setup along with your audio, and you can of course edit all of this. We have media that's going to come up as well. We go through all of that. Back into climate controls, full screen navigation, all of your phone integration, and then going under vehicle you can see a few things. We have the mirror dimmer on and off, rear view camera, you're able to take a look at that, then we can easily exit out. We also have settings you're able to go through and really adjust pretty much everything within this truck. And then we have different apps as well. Android Auto, and then you can view all to see everything that's inside this truck. Now there's also controls on the left and right side. We have your temperature, fan speed, then you have a few more on the right side for climate controls. So I really like just how easy it is with physical buttons or of course using that screen. Now if I go ahead and put the truck in reverse, that backup camera is going to pop up as you would expect. We also have volume on the left, tuning and scrolling on the right, and then toggles down below for parking sensors, tow and haul mode, and traction control. Now the gear selector is that rotary dial. We also have our four-wheel drive select right on the left of that, along with the engine start stop. Now there's a bunch of plugs down below in the center console. We have a huge amount of storage space, more storage in the center, and you can even move this out of the way. So a huge bucket for this entire center console. That is a really cool design. We can also open up this armrest. There's even more storage space in here with a plug. Grabbing the second lever, we're back down into all of this storage area. You also can see some measurements and things on the back side if you're going to be using this as your work truck. And then of course sliding this back just reveals how open everything is. You can also see the white stitching on it, and then another look at the interior. Definitely a pretty good looking truck. Hasn't changed over the years. Doesn't look like 2024 has really any major updates, but again, this is a pretty up-to-date truck in general. We have a black headliner, all of our controls for the dome lights, and you're even going to see a sunglass holder up in front of that. Small mirror, and then garage door openers on your sun visor. All right, so sitting in the back seat now of this Ram 1500 at 5'11", I am sitting here extremely comfortably. Passenger seat is about at my height, and I have over a foot of knee room. This is a really good family-focused truck. If it is your work truck, your crew's gonna be able to sit in the back, and I don't think they're gonna be able to complain too much. Now, there's also quite a few amenities. We have a little bit of storage. We have 2 climate control vents, 2 USB ports, 2 USB-Cs. You even have heated seats and a traditional house plug. There's also 2 cup holders up here with a little bit extra storage. You can, of course, pull the center seat back down. You're gonna have 2 cup holders and a little bit more storage. And overall, this is really, honestly, pretty darn roomy. Now, in the floor, you can even open up these hidden storage compartments, and they're about a foot deep back here, so you can fit some larger items in the floor of this truck. There's also gonna be storage up in front, grab handles, and hooks up on the ceiling. And then as far as the maneuverability of all these seats, if you grab the base of them, you can easily just lift it up, and it reveals a ton of storage space underneath the floor to really maximize what you can do. Give it a firm pull down, and then the headrests are even going to fold downwards for better driver visibility. There's also speakers in the ceiling as well, and really a pretty roomy back seat. All right, so we are setting off now in the Ram 1500. Just giving it a little bit of gas. I really do like the Hemi eTorque V8. I think it's one of my favorite V8s, actually probably my favorite V8 that is available. I like all the hybrid, like the V6 things, those are cool too. However, for a V8, I think Ram just does it the best. Having that little bit of electric assistance, it kind of fills the flat spot when you're accelerating. So it just feels like a really beefy, nice V8. So I'm a really big fan of this engine. I would totally go for a Ram just because of the engine itself. That's a really good feature. Some normal driving, this is a very nice truck. You can tell, even a Laramie, I mean, this is a pretty nicely equipped truck. You can tell this is a pretty luxurious, focused vehicle. It rides really smooth. Fit and finish is pretty good too. It just feels like a solid, nice place to be. The seats are pretty comfortable. You have a huge windshield and everything. Like, visibility, honestly, is really good. Slow speed driving, it's kind of easy to maneuver. You can tell it's a big truck, so of course parking and things like that, but it just feels like a smooth, comfortable truck. The transmission does a great job utilizing the power. It's not jerky, you don't feel the shifts or anything like that. And these seats are really comfortable and padded. Nice things you get to touch in here too. So honestly, if you are looking for a luxurious truck, while every brand honestly has some really nice trucks now, the Ram, like the suspension, the way it drives just feels like it's a little bit extra. I think the GM trucks are really good these days. They're definitely up there with one of my favorites. Of course, the Tundra's great too. But the suspension, you can tell in the Rams, there's something about them to where they just feel that little extra luxury. So it is a nice place to be, a nice place to just rack up miles, you know, use this for your daily driver, your commuter vehicle, your work truck, use it for your family weekend truck, whatever you need to do. I feel like you're going to enjoy spending time in this vehicle. Also, the way everything works, like the nav screen, I like how it's oriented. Not everyone likes the vertical screen. However, once you get used to it, it's actually really simple to use. So it's an easy truck to use, and yet it's very nice at the same time. So I don't think there's anything crazy. Good windshield, good mirrors and everything to see around. And like any pickup truck over your left and right shoulders, you pretty much have no blind spots. I mean, pickup trucks are really easy to see around. It's not bad at all. And knowing how roomy and practical and useful this is, I mean, it's really not a bad truck to be in. And then when we do get back up to speed, like I talked about how this kind of has a luxury take, getting up to speed, again, that eTorque just keeps it nice and smooth power delivery. But when you're up to speed, the refinement's there to where it's comfortable. You don't hear the wind noise or road noise or anything like that. It's a very well insulated vehicle to where you can tell it's a pretty solid truck. Closing doors and everything that you do press, it feels like it's pretty solid and has some weight to it. So I think if you're looking for a pretty solidly put together truck that drives very solid, I think the Ram is up there at the top, particularly the suspension and the engine. I think that is a really good plus to just make this feel like a high quality, solid truck. All right, so now my honest thoughts with the Ram. The engine, I mean, quarter throttle, shift around 4,000. It is just a very smooth V8. There's no flat spots in it. That is the downfall with a naturally aspirated V8. You know, there are some flat spots with torque delivery and power delivery. The eTorque really picks it up and is my favorite V8. I really like it. Like I said, transmission, super smooth power delivery. It's just a really nice place to be. And when you look at Chrysler in general, you know, the cars that they're making, they do have a nice touch of luxury, especially with the Jeeps nowadays, with what they're offering. So they really are focusing on a lot of luxury aspects. And you can tell when you're in this, there's something about the ride quality that just feels really smooth. Not to say a GMC Sierra High Country isn't a nice truck either. That's one of my favorite trucks too. However, I feel like this engine is slightly smoother and the suspension is a little bit more comfortable. The other trucks kind of drive a little bit more like trucks. This almost drives like a Wagoneer. Not quite as luxurious. I mean, that thing is insanely nice, but you can kind of feel that aspect in a Ram. So I like that a lot. You know, hitting the brakes and everything, it's very well built to where, you know, it comes to a stop nicely. It doesn't feel like it's underpowered or it's too small of brakes or anything like that. Steering has a good weight to it as well. It's just a nice place to be, honestly. A lot of people do like to say the Rams have the best interiors. I don't think that anymore. I think when Ram did their interior like this, it definitely was a really nice thing to see. However, I think GM is right there with them. I kind of like GM's interior a little bit better. I think it looks a little cooler. This has been around for a couple years to where it's pretty familiar, I would say. Not a bad interior at all. I think it is up there with very nice and definitely is what you would want it to be. But there is some stiff competition now for the interiors, and I think GM is on the top of their game as well. So driving in this, like I said, just comfortable, you know, the seat, all sorts of good positions and everything. You really can just rack it up and just drive in this vehicle. Now, as far as using this as a work truck with the ground clearance, the four-wheel drive, and things like that, this is something you can use on a job site and truly be capable. I don't know why there's no front tow hooks. I noticed that for 2023. Might be particular specs, I'm not too sure, but you would think a Laramie would have front tow hooks, which I know a lot of you commented last time I filmed a Ram, that kind of weird to see that. Now, as far as the gear selector, not everybody likes the rotary dial. I'm kind of 50-50. I like the aspect that it's not in the center, and I like that it's not a column shifter. I'm just not a fan of the column ones. It's out of the way, and you do get used to it. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the rotary ones. However, given there's only 4 gears, you don't feel like you're always going to go into low or something because drive is the farthest to the right. Now, going into reverse, sometimes you might put it into park. So it takes a little bit getting used to. However, I think once you drive it, honestly, a week, I don't think you're really going to care too much. But overall, I think if you're looking for a solid truck, you got to put Ram on your list. Whether you're getting a 1500, 2500, or even bigger, they have workhorses available, they have luxury trucks available, and they have basic trucks. I know a lot of people comment that this is an expensive truck. Obviously, this isn't cheap. However, for like 40-something grand, you can still get a pretty basic truck these days. So you don't have to break the bank to go for something that is, nearly $70,000 or spend 100 grand on a diesel truck either. You can get a pretty simple Ram if you'd like, with the bed, with the four-wheel drive, and it'll still be a good workhorse. So that is then it for the 2024 Ram 1500 Laramie. Really nice truck overall. I don't think you can complain. If you're in the market, I would definitely take a look at one of them. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for plenty more content, and a big shout out and thank you once again to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this new truck for today's video. Take a look at their website, links down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.